Hello, this is Pastor James Hargrave. Welcome back to Greatest Love Ministries. Today we're going to look how Daniel chapter 12 and Daniel chapter 9 both point to the same date. That being February 21st, 2022. This was the day Russia recognized officially the breakaway republics of, I can't pronounce them, but the two breakaway republics in Ukraine. And it's also, as we will look here, February 21st, 2022, it's when Joe Biden and his administration start putting out sanctions and actions against Russia. You can read it here, you can look it up. Very significant date. I think that date is reflective. Let's look it up here in Revelation chapter 13. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear, so that it's moving with its feet, and a mouth like that of a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. This beast, that's talking about the beast from the sea, is being drawn by NATO and the United States, which is the 10 horns, 7 heads and 10 horns. Definitely the 7 heads is drawing NATO, and the United States is drawing Russia out through its policies concerning Ukraine and Russia's borders. The leopard here is Iran, which is an ally of Russia, and she too is being drawn into this World War III conflict, which began February 21st, 2022. So let's look at let's look at Daniel chapter 12. Let's see where that is. Here it is. You can read it for yourself. It's talking about the resurrection of the dead, the time of the end. And it gives some time periods in here. One time period it gives is, here it is, verse 7. And swear by him that liveth forever and ever, it shall be for a time, times, and half a time, or and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. So it's 3.5 years earlier to the end time. Now, many times in Daniel and in the book of Revelation, certain prophecies or time periods have to be doubled. This is the 7-year prophecy here. Time, times, and time and a half. It's 3.5 years, but it's doubled, so it's a 7-year prophecy in here. When does this 7-year prophecy begin? According to Daniel 12, 1290 days till the abomination. From the time the daily sacrifice is taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate is set up, shall be 1,290 days. Blessed is he as waiteth, and come to wait until we get to the 1,135 days. So these are pointing to the beginning of the 7 years, because you calculate this out to the dome of the rock, and just the Dome of the Rock was 683 or 684. So that's 1,290 years from when the continuous offering was taken away. That was around 606 and a half or 606 BC. It was about in the 3rd year of Daniel chapter 1. Will tell you when that was. It's from 609, and you have to wait, go into the next king's reign there, and that's 3 more years, 2 to 3 more years, so 606 and a half. You start from that day, you go out 1,290 years, and you get 684, 683 AD, and then from then you go out 1,335 more years, and you get 2018, roughly 2018, 19. Both Daniel chapter 9 and Daniel chapter 12 point to the same date. So from the end of the Hebrew year, 2018 is September 10th. So I'll show you here on date calculators from September 10th, 2018, about 1,260 days, and you end up on February 21st, 2022, exactly in the middle. So this is 3.5 years, and then from February 21st, you have time, times, and time and a half when all these things will be accomplished. Another 3.5 years to go. Now let's look at Daniel chapter 9. We've talked about this in another video. Let's see, the 70 weeks. 70 weeks are also standing out here. These are broken up. It's the same prophecy. 7 weeks, 62 weeks, 70 weeks. It's the 70, verse 24, 70 weeks are determined. So when do you start those 70 weeks? I believe you start with the foundation of Israel, and this points 70 weeks, 2018, from modern Israel, you get to 2018, when Donald Trump moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and that's the Abomination, Desolation, because Obama will use that embassy as his palace or as his government building, and he's the king and we're the country that's going to lead the assault on Israel and Jerusalem that has been prophesied by Ezekiel. If you look in Ezekiel verse 8, chapter 39, verse 8, behold, it is come and it is done. This is about Gog, Magog, saith the Lord God. This is the day whereof I have spoken. And then another place it talks about all those who have prophesied. The Old Testament were prophesying about this day. This is the day of the Lord, and the whole world goes against Jerusalem. And that's when Jesus comes back. So both Daniel tells us when this 7-year period starts. It starts 70 years into modern Israel. So that was 2018, 2019, specifically September 10th, 2018. So it's interesting how both these prophecies are prophesying the same date, same year. So then, if my interpretation of Daniel 9, the 77 weeks is wrong, then also my interpretation of Daniel 12 would have to be wrong. Also, I don't think it is. Now, at this point, we can be certain, pretty well certain, Jesus will return around August 3rd, 2025, because that's the end of the 7 years, and it also falls on the 9th of Av, which Jesus seems to be talking about that date in Matthew 24, the 9th of Av. That's when Jesus appears to be coming back. And that's 7 years after the 70th anniversary of Israel. Thank you.